Hi everybody, hope you're well. So we're back here in the Algarve, but it's 2024 now. We're back at the Alba. It's reminiscent of 5 years ago, which was your first video. 5 years ago, yeah. Time flies, eh? So yeah, we're talking about what's been going on. We're talking about various stuff really. The first thing is to introduce everybody. Isaac Chute is an Irishman, but you've lived in Boston for 20 odd years?
Yeah, I've been living in Boston 24 years and back in Pigeons since 2020. So
Cool.
grew up in a pigeon loft in Ireland, and when my dad passed away, I decided I was going to bring some of the birds over here and start all over again, or over there, should I say.
Yeah, that's great. And then we have Martin.
Yeah,
How you doing, Martin?
Martin Ward from Dublin. Yeah,
Another
doing good.
Irishman,
Yeah,
Pigeon man that we wanted to bring in as well. You'll see why with the link in a little while. And then we don't really need to introduce him, but it's Maurice. How are you, Maurice?
Very good, thanks.
Good. So yeah, we wanted to talk about some of you may be tuning in for the first time who don't know about Pioneer Syndicates, and we wanted to talk about that. We wanted to talk about one-off racing, a bit of an update in the last 12 months, and give you some news about what we're looking to do going into 2025 with it and the plans we've got in place. So first of all, we might as well start with you, Isaac, in that how is the scene, how is the sport in the US in your mind?
So I haven't been away from the sport for 25 plus years, and starting back up in the US compared to Cork back home in Ireland, it was a stark contrast. The vast majority of the fanciers in the Boston area, for instance, are definitely around, they're up there in age, and we badly need young blood in the sport. And as you get older, cleaning the loft, looking after birds becomes extra work and hassle. So from my perspective, I'm one of the younger guys in the crew, which is unusual in that you'd expect there to be more, especially given the catch basin that the Boston area is.
Yeah.
So basically, we've an aging population. We have fewer fanciers every year. It's shrinking, and I really do look to the syndicate style racing as the ability and the avenue for ordinary Joe Soaps like myself in a backyard loft to kick around with our own birds, but also to have a share and an educated share in some of the big races. I joined the Pioneer Syndicate this year for some of the Algarve races, and I got a great kick when Maurice was first in the fourth hotspot against 5,000 plus pigeons, which was no mean feat. Congratulations, Maurice. I sincerely mean that. And I think that what Mark is doing with the Pioneer Syndicate is definitely something that a lot of the older fanciers can actually participate in. There's a huge market out there for people to give them the opportunity, especially to participate in the patias and the other races that we haven't the hope as normal fanciers of sending teams of 10 or 15 birds off there, given the perch fees and the activation fees, not to mention export and import fees. So thanks to Mark and Pioneer Syndicates for giving us that opportunity.
I left here last year thinking that it needs to be done, and that's what I've done. But it's a team thing, It's about that team. It's not only the people participating; it's the people putting the good pigeons in. And so yeah, it's starting. I knew it'd take a while to get off the ground, but it's picking up speed now. So, and Martin, so you're lifelong pigeon man. But also, your son David is in the US as well.
Yeah.
So,
well, first of all, I'd be lost without him. I'd be out pinning pigeons now.
yeah.
If it wasn't for David taking over for me, after I had a couple of operations and just finding it hard to walk down to the loft and get around with David. Yeah. So I've been in the sport about 45 years,
Wow.
and had my fair share of winnings in Ireland and especially over here. And when I came here to Boston, I think 1986, and then I joined the club in 1990, And I've been a member since in the Boston Concourse and the Braintree Racing Pigeon Club. 20 odd members in that club, and but yeah, it's a good old sport. Great.
You're out here every year, aren't you?
Oh yeah. So it's great to be able to come to these places like this now and go to the Hoosier Classic and then down to the Gulf Homing Club, which is little Belgium they have there now. All the top flyers in America are all living down there now, retiring down there. Yeah, I walked a couple of years ago. I was there, and I walked around every house, right around the ring road, and every house has a pigeon loft in it. Right, of all the top men. Brilliant. And our clubhouse is out of this world.
Is that Spring Hill or another place? Is that Spring Hill?
Spring Hill.
All right.
Yeah.
I've contemplated it, but my wife says she doesn't want to go and live in Florida.
But no, it's great to be able to, and especially what you're doing now with that, getting that off the ground now is going to be a great help for, as I say, Isaac just said there about everyone's getting old, so not enough to be getting out of the pigeons, but this is a way of keeping your mind on getting into the.
It's exciting.
Yeah. So it'll take a bit to catch on, but
I can feel it coming.
Yeah, the more people talk about it and get to know exactly how it works, and how do you know which bird is your bird, you know what I mean? And it's a great way then of you'll be getting Maurice's pigeons over there and breeding off them.
Your son's got a lot of good pigeons already. Isaac's got some great pigeons already. So that's what we set out. We talked about it last year, didn't we, Maurice? I said I was going to do it. And we just started small. We only started with this one, Pattaya. We did the premiere in the UK, which is I love that race. I think it's a really good race. Rango, a good guy. And then we've started with the Dubai. The Dubai is the
you did the Dubai one,
Second year, first time got any entrance in it, and John Gladwin put into there. That's more of a sprint race. It's 300-mile final. But again, testing.
I didn't think it was 300 miles, is it? Because that's what the race out here is.
300 kilometres.
300 kilometres.
Kilometres.
That's only 180 miles.
Yeah, so that's more of a experience. But again, still in Dubai. So
that would attract a lot of the sprint flyers.
Yeah, we'll see. But so that's where we're at the moment. As I say, next, it's like the middle of Sunday in October. We've got a call which is open to everybody to come in, ask questions if you're in it or not, talk about next year's plans, races, team sizes. So it's going well.
I suppose I should mention that, for the last 3 years, I've been running the House of Arden in the USA.
Yeah.
And I work closely with the House of Arden in the UK. They're great people, great pigeons. Most of my foundation birds have come from there. But it's just so hard to get birds to the US. It's easier for me to service the need locally. And as a result, working as part of the Pioneer Syndicates to kind of be a breeding loft for you guys, I'm already set up to breed birds in an effective manner and having, I'm not going to pretend I know more about pigeons than these two guys, but I was born in a loft, and my earliest memories are literally holding the Larn Cup that my dad won into Cork City, and I think that was like 1966, which wasn't yesterday. And I have his diploma. It was his pride and joy, and a picture of me with the cup as well.
Oh, cool. We got talking, and it's been an idea of mine for quite a few years, and I've been talking to Maurice about it, and then it's the right time to do it, meeting yourself, and you being Irish, and it's good.
And it is, and a main reason why I think it'll take off is it gives guys the opportunity to get in for small money and just to get a stake. Like all they want is just to be involved in the race.
Have an interest in it,
Have an interest. Whereas some of the races now, they're getting a bit too expensive.
Like, I got a great kick, guys, when Maurice's bird won the hotspot. I'm going like, oh, I'm a member of that
Yeah.
syndicate. It was like, wow.
Yeah, and the other thing we've added in the last few weeks that's up and running now is like there's an inbuilt wallet system, so any winnings anybody gets put into the wallet, and then you can use that wallet to buy more entries year after or whenever you want. It's in there all the time, or you can just click a button and hit withdrawal, supply bank details, and it's paid out. So everybody knows how much is in their wallet at any time. So yeah, that's implemented now, and that'll improve moving forward. Yeah, so it's all good. So the plan with regards to the Pioneer Syndicates entering the US races. So a little bit of background about my idea. I've mentioned this briefly before, but essentially I've got 3 groups of pigeons myself. I've got the best I can get from Maurice, and we'll be getting a few more. I've got
Isn't that right, Morris?
I don't have a choice in the matter.
I've got probably, well, John said it himself when I asked him. I asked him who's got the biggest group of the best group of Zwows outside of your loss, and he said probably you now. So I've got 30 odd Zwows. And for those of you who don't know about Zwows, anybody listening or watching in the US, keep your eyes open. They're going to come into the US. I think they're ideal for one-off races with the ranges they can do. So yeah, I've got them. And then I'm particularly keen on these Snow Prince pigeons, which is a bit of a passion of mine. All being well, by the end of the year I'll have 10 children of Snow Prince, about 6 cocks, 4 hens. And for those again that you don't know, Snow Prince is a Tarbes pigeon himself. I think he came 5th national. He certainly came top 10 national flying from Tarbes himself. And then he went on to breed a pigeon called Queen Mary over here for Mr. McFadden. And then when Mr. McFadden finished in the sport, Kev Zakara bought him.
Is that a grizzle pigeon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Queen Mary was the Tarbes winner herself, and Snow Prince flew Tarbes himself and bred Queen Mary. And I've got a few pigeons from him, as I said, but I've also got pigeons from him.
And I'd like to interject about Snow Prince. And yes, it's a grizzle. And for those old timers like myself, I count myself as one. These go right the whole way back to John Kirkpatrick and to the chap down in St. Just in Cornwall, where Griselda, Stranraer Simon, and Cornish Supreme,
All of them.
they're all out of that
And
same
if you look
line.
at Snow Prince, I was privileged to handle him last year.
Arthur Hill. Didn't want to forget Arthur Hill's name. And they're the grizzles that my dad clocked many a year out of the channel into Cork, much to the chagrin of some of the competition who had far more expensive pedigrees, I might add.
Well, I handled him, and he's just like, he reminded me of the old Kirkpatricks I started with when I was 13. I had 13 pigeons, and they were all Kirkies. And I guess that's the passion of mine. But then to see, he's a grandson of Stan the Man himself.
Ah, I remember Stan the Man, yes.
Snow Prince is his grandson of Stan the Man, and it just shows what you've been saying. If it's in the blood, it'll come.
It's all connected.
So yeah, I've got that little group. Now I have got a few additional extra pigeons. I've got 2 great Joe Jellimer hens from Dean Pallet when he sold all his Jellimers. Actually, one of them has been paired up to a Snow Prince pigeon this year, producing really cracking babies. I've got like a grandson of Queen Mary and also Po Princess, which is the dam of Queen Mary when she was paired to Snow Prince. And they've produced some stunning grizzle pigeons paired into Maurice's. So my plan really quickly is with Pioneer Pigeons, it'll be for all syndicates, US syndicates, they'll all be going into the syndicates, but like the Pioneer Pigeons little US satellite operation will essentially contain the best of Maurice's pigeons, the best of the Franz Wows from John Gladwin and John Cowlin, some of the Snow Prince pigeons, and then whatever else we need as and when we need them.
Yeah, we get the pad fields for free
Yep.
because
pad
I've got
fields
direct
from Isaac as
sons
well.
and daughters off all the pad field champions
So we've got
already in the
pad fields
US.
as well. So combined together, we've got I think a really good core group of pigeons to hit the US races with. So that's the first part of the US plan. We're going to have it'll be a small operation to start. Isaac will be running it, and we'll be breeding birds in the US, because I believe it's the same way round. I personally believe US bred pigeons can struggle in European races just because of the shipping, the quarantine, and the other way around. It's just not fair to the pigeon, I don't think, either, 2 months in quarantine. So if pigeons are bred in the US, entering US races, obviously any Canadian and Mexican races that come up, that whole side,
It's a lot easier.
without quarantine. So yeah, that's the first side of the plan. What else have you got to say about the US, Maurice? What's your take on it?
I don't know many of the races over there. I like that Hosier race.
Yeah, I mean that's the biggest.
Jim
That
Ward, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another relation.
He comes he comes across as a gentleman.
Oh, sure is. Yep. Yeah.
And he works hard, and they don't have huge amount of losses. So the pigeons are well looked after and they're healthy.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
Yeah.
If the pigeons are healthy, they'll fly.
So that'll be our main target race for the first year. We'll see what else comes up that you can help us with, and see what we can do. But that's the plan. The plan is to be able to have US races. So it works both ways. So as you said earlier, Isaac, people that don't keep pigeons or people that do in the US can be involved in the European races with what we've got going already here. Come back to that in a minute, and then vice versa. People in Europe can get involved in the US races with what we're doing. So at the moment the plan is, again, keeping it simple for next year from the European side of things, UK European side of things for now. We're going to be basically having teams like we did this year for Maurice. There'll be the Algarve race, the main Algarve race. There'll be Pattaya for sure.
Yeah.
And then we'll see what happens. Maybe Dubai. We'll see how Dubai goes this year and see how things fare for the following. We're going to be having the same with John Gladwin, the Franz Wales, as well as Pigeons.com. As well, again, same this year. We're planning to try the Wales and Pattaya as well next year, Algarve and the Premier for the Wales teams as well. We've got 20 spots in the Premier at the minute. That could increase, and then we'll see what else we can do. So there'll be teams, and then the additional extra into 2025 is that I'll be the test lab for. We've discussed this before, but for everybody that's listening, I'll be the test lab for, right, here's a few pair of pure, for want of a better word, Maurice's pigeons, here's a few pure Wales, here's a few others, and then everything else will get crossed. So I'm gonna cross Maurice's in with the Wales, Maurice's in with the Snow Prince, the Wales in with the Snow Prince, the Wales in with Maurice's.
And an interesting observation to make is that all these birds, the Zwals, the Morris ones, the Batfields, the Snow Queens, the whole lot of them, all the birds that we have that we're going to be breeding off of are extremely closely related to national winners and some international winners as well. And it's like winners breed winners.
Yeah.
And it, as a result, from the syndicate stock perspective, we have the best of the best with a better chance of winning against birds that are unproven. And I'll be honest, anyone that puts unproven birds into a one loft race and spends all that money for the sake of it they're wasting their time and their money, to be honest. That's like trying to buy a lottery ticket and hope you win. The odds are definitely against you.
I agree, and we've got the best. So many of you watching, listening already know Maurice's triumphs. You know the Pigeon Miss Morris, you know the Pigeon Starboy. and there's other pigeons coming up as well. So you know Maurice, again, 5 years ago I said Mr. Consistent. I stand by that even more, and I've got a feeling about tomorrow. We'll see. This video is being recorded.
It's the right feeling.
We're recording this on Friday evening, the day before the final tomorrow. So let's see if I'm right. But I've got a feeling.
And I've even gotten, because of Maurice, I'm going like, okay, learn from the best. So I'm going like, what did Maurice do? Oh yeah, he went up to this guy in Belgium, Jacques. How'd you say his name, Maurice? I always mix it up.
The first guy I went to,
Jacques.
Just Juice.
Oh no,
Van Oakwork Deckers.
Oakwork Deckers.
Jackies.
All right, she's like a Jackine, and I got 2 nestmates off of his full sister to Starboy onto close one, which was 2nd National Belgium from Agen and 4th International Agen, and they'll be going right directly into the hen I got from Carl Donnelly that's off a Starboy and onto the other Starboy birds that we have. So we're not inbreeding, we're more like line breeding.
Yeah, they're all the same. I mean, we all know there's no such thing as a pure pigeon, but
I got a lazy man's effort for me. Hey, how's he succeeding? All right, why should I bother like trying to figure out 10 different breeds? And it's like, just follow the lead. I'm too old to have to wait 20 years to hit the nugget. Yeah. So I'll just let you hit the nugget, and I'll say, I'm going for the nugget too.
You're kind of doing what I'm doing, but I'm becoming the only Irishman for the weekend. I'm surrounding myself by the look of the Irish. So let's see if the feeling comes tomorrow.
You see, what I did with that guy is, I followed. It wasn't specifically him. I had pigeons from another guy in Belgium called Just Juice. He won 2 internationals, and I used to look at the results every year for all the international races, always looking out for Just Juice. I was looking at one result, and I saw this name, Van Oakwork Deckers. And then I scrolled down a little bit, there it was again, then I scrolled, there it was again. I said, hang on a fucking second. So that was a Pepignon result, right?
All right, yeah. Nice distance race, about 600 plus.
I went back and I looked at the Marseille race. And here he was up at the top again. And he had about 20 in the result.
Of the national race?
Of the international.
Oh, the international. Wow.
Right? So then I did the same for Barcelona, which is 700 miles to. And here he had 15, 16 in the result. And I remember I phoned him. It was his son answered the phone. And I said, I was looking at the results, blah, blah, blah. I said, you did very well in Barcelona. Oh yes, he said, we sent 21 and we clocked 20.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Now the 20 hadn't shown up on the international result.
But they were in the national results.
Preliminary result that Pippa used to put up on their website. My favourite people. And I followed this guy's results for 4 years. And it was the same every year. He wasn't winning, but he was just there every year. Mm. And I said, this guy can't have any rubbish in his loft when he's clocking that amount of pigeons from all these races. So that's when I made a phone call and said, I better go and see this guy. And look just has it.
Mm-hmm. Bred Starboy with one of the Deckers as well.
Yeah, one of the hens that I bought off him, I bought 3 cocks and 3 hens. And one of the hens, her ring number was 045. And his son rang me 2 years later. And he said, have you still got the pigeon 045? And I said, yes. I said, why? Why do you ask? He said, her father is just after winning the national ace pigeon 3 years in a row. 2017, 2018, 2019.
Very good.
And that was Paco, Barcelona.
Yeah.
And I had a direct order.
700 miles
Yeah.
plus. And actually, what's the amazing thing there about those birds is that most people, when they think of one loft racing, they're thinking, oh, you know, the Kittles, the Bulks, the Sprinters or whatever. It's like, no. These birds, Starboy, Miss Morris, they are 700, 750 milers. They're not 350 milers, which is pretty amazing. And it gives solace to all the old guys out there with the distance birds. It's like, no, distance birds can do just as well if they're, in the batch, or, a little bit of luck is always needed, but they can do extremely well on a really tough day out of these one loft races.
But you must understand, you see, in one loft races, the birds are only 6, 7, 8 months old maximum.
The babies.
Like, they don't know that they're long distance pigeons. Nobody ever told them. It's just when you open the basket, boom, they want to get home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they keep
And
going.
that's the difference. They keep going. They won't stop.
When they're
So
going.
that's the plan. The best we can get from the best flyers, best pigeons, put them together, fly their own teams, fly the Pioneer mixture, labs set up, crossing them all together, and we see what happens. And we'll definitely be starting with the Hoosier next year. We've got plans to start making that happen as soon as the Algarve's over. And yeah, it's going to be really good. It's going to be exciting times, and there's more potential stuff coming up as well with the US side of things, which we will let you know about as and when we can. But yeah, it's I'm excited. I'm excited for 2025. Excited for tomorrow. Look at the Irish.
Ole, 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 ole. Oh, it would be
3 mad paddies.
brilliant. Jesus, I'd never get out of the place.
So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But we've got the call a week on Sunday, which I'll put out on Facebook to promote. Anybody's welcome to come along, and we will be discussing specific team sizes and what birds are going where and what teams are going where and what have you. So yeah, that's the update really for now, and from sunny Algarve. It's been lovely again. And like you said, like you've brought your family with you, you brought your family with you. You know, it's a great thing to get involved in, and what we're doing with the syndicates gets everybody that wants to be involved for as little as a tenner. So.
And they don't even have to be a pigeon fancier.
No.
And I think as little as a tenner is like that's the crazy part of this. When you think about how much it costs just to send a bird to these races, not to mention the perch fee and the activation fee and everything else, it's a lot of money. And to be honest, as I said, most of the fanciers I know are getting up there, so paying for feeding and transport for their birds is expensive. It's impossible for them to send the birds to one of these one loft races, but it's not impossible for them to partake in Pioneer Syndicate and actually take advantage of, hey, I'll get a share in a bird, I'll get 2 shares in a bird.
I don't have to pay to feed them, I don't have to do anything, that's it, just once you pay.
Exactly like what horse racing is, but we're doing it with pigeons.
You said things are getting crazy expensive. I can remember, it's not many years ago, where you could buy a 25 kg bag of good quality pigeon feeding for €10. Now it's 25.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm paying 35 for a cheap pack of mix dollars.
$35.
Yes,
39 I paid the other day
and that's
for breeder conditioner.
and they go down fast, right, Martin? Those bags go down very fast.
Very
You don't get
fast.
one bag at a time; you get 2 or 3.
I get a pallet at a time. Because once they start breeding, Jesus, the amount of food they
We
go
should
through.
also mention the green, white, and gold syndicate.
Oh yes, we
tomorrow.
should.
Let's look at these quality shirts.
And actually, I should also mention that I bred one of their
Show 'em the
first
bike.
champion birds this year. I got 2 birds from David, Martin's son, and put them together, and it won the activation race in the New England One Loft Derby. So David and myself were very proud of that achievement. So congratulations on your win in the New England Derby, man.
Blue, white and gold. So yeah. So check out what we've got going on Pioneer Syndicates. All the information is up there at pioneersyndicates.com. Watch this space. We've got more things to talk about in the coming months. There's more things we're planning and working on, but they're not decided yet, but I'm sure they will be soon. And yeah, let's bring on tomorrow.
Yep.
We'll look at the Irish. Let's see.
It's coming home.
If we win, we'll do another interview tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. Let's do that.
Just catch him before the bubbly starts flowing.
Yeah. So we'll see if you get another video coming out tomorrow.
And you might be cutting this off at the tail end of it if we don't.
I've got a feeling. I don't have many feelings.
I got a
these days,
feeling.
I've got a feeling. So let's see. Let's see what
Hopefully.
happens. Excited.
Just hope it's a good race.
Even my girlfriend said the day before I was coming out, you've got to calm down, I know you're excited. And that doesn't happen very often. So I've got this feeling. So let's see. We'll see. But thank you, everybody. Thank you for watching. And thank you
been a
guys
pleasure.
for coming on.
All right.
Bring on 2025.
Thank you, sir.
Cheers.